They are the creators, showrunners, writers, directors, and executive producers of the Emmy-winning comedy series Hacks, which stars Jean Smart, Hannah Einbinder, and Paul W. Downs. Please welcome Paul W. Downs, Lucia Aniello, and Jen Statsky.
Thank you. An icon, a legend, and a diva. That's what we asked Jean to call the three of us on the set of Hacks. She refused, and of course she was right for that, as she was in many things in her career. Jean Smart has had a remarkable career. She began acting on the stage in the Pacific Northwest and then New York, but her big break in Hollywood came when she stole our hearts as the sweet, earnest, and endearing office manager Charlene Frazier on Designing Women. Charlene once told a story about asking a woman from the North, "Where y'all from?" The woman replied, "I'm from a place where we don't end our sentences with prepositions." And Charlene fired back, "Okay, where y'all from, bitch?" Sweet as pie and lethal when necessary. That incredible range has always been one of Jean's gifts. She could play the spunky girl next door or a trailblazing female serial killer, one of the last glass ceilings there is. She showed that range time and time again in her career. On Frasier, Jean made audiences scream with laughter as she screamed iconic punchlines as Lana Gardner, high school crush to both Frasier and Niles. On Samantha Who, she gave a standout performance with her hilarious portrayal of Samantha's image-obsessed and acerbic mother. On Fargo, to quote The Guardian, she was hauntingly and elegantly spare as the ruthless Floyd, a performance they and many other critics lauded as one of the best of the entire show. And on Watchmen, Jean stole scenes yet again with the gravity and complexity she brought to her historically damaged FBI agent, Laurie Blake. Jean has proven time and time again that she can be funny, dramatic, sexy, vulnerable, and strong. And on Hacks, she showed us she could do all of those things, oftentimes in one scene, and sometimes in a single moment.
In playing Deborah Vance, we needed someone who understood that comedy and drama aren't opposites, they're partners. The funniest moments come from truth, and the most heartbreaking moments often come with a laugh. Jean made Deborah Vance iconic and Hacks better than we could have ever imagined, and in doing so, she changed our lives. But for all her roles on screen, she should also be recognized for her roles off screen, as a loving wife, a dedicated and fantastic mother to her 2 children, and a loyal friend. Jean will make sure you get a bowl of her homemade chili at her Christmas party. She'll give you the most thoughtful wrap gifts. She'll throw you a baby shower when you're too tired to plan it yourself. And at 2:30 in the morning, she'll DM you a video of a 97-year-old woman who strapped herself to a propeller plane. Jean, you gotta sleep.
Yeah.
Working with her has been one of the greatest privileges of our careers, but getting to become her friend and her family has truly been the best part.
To know Jean is to know her warmth. And as number 1 on the call sheet, she cultivated an atmosphere on our set of kindness and true generosity. The way she welcomed actors on our set made them feel like they had extraordinary talent even before they stepped in front of the camera. And that magic fairy dust she sprinkled on them made them extraordinary. You can hear this warmth in her big, beautiful laugh. Everyone knows that classic Jean Smart laugh. The loudness of it, the freeness of it. And every time we hear it, it reminds us why we're all here, and especially why we make TV, to connect with other humans, to enjoy each other, and to love each other. As both an actor and a human being, her range is unparalleled, and we are so lucky she has shared her gift with us and with the world. Tonight, the Television Academy Hall of Fame honors an extraordinary person and their extraordinary body of work. Here are some of Jean's iconic roles.
Please welcome the newest member of the Television Academy Hall of Fame, the one, the only, Jean Smart.
Wow. Oh, no. No. Indeed, it is a dream come true. And I, without question, would not be standing here tonight if not for these three lovely humans who just introduced me. No, truly, truly. Not to mention my partner in crime, the luminous Hannah Einbinder. And I would also like to introduce, because I'm so thrilled he's here tonight, my dear friend and makeup artist, Keith Sayer. He would arrive on the set of Hacks every morning before the sun came up in the dark to start building, the scaffolding, the hanging lights, mixing the spackle, I owe my life to that man. Anyway, I love you, Keith. I have to say, growing up in what was called the golden age of television was really kind of magical. I know I'm dating myself, but the Dinah Shore show, the Loretta Young show, the Twilight Zone, Bonanza, that Pernell Roberts. Hey. And then all the specials that came, like Carol Burnett and Dean Martin. But what made the biggest impression on me growing up were the TV shows that came on once a year. Peter Pan. Most of you don't remember this. Peter Pan starring Mary Martin. And of course, The Wizard of Oz. And if you missed it, you missed it. You had to wait until next year. Oh, and then, of course, there were the Charlie Brown holiday specials until they came out on DVD, of course. But now, children can watch whatever they want, whenever they want, as many times as they want. And I often wonder what that's doing to us, as a species, not having to ever wait for things, not having to wait for what we want. Who cares? That's a discussion for another day. But tonight, I just want to express how unbelievably grateful I am to be up here. There are a few more people I would like to acknowledge that have meant so much to my career. And most are here tonight. My forever agent, Scott Henderson. And my new agents, Nancy Josephson and Stephanie Ritz. My management team, mostly Danielle Thomas, and also Jason Weinberg. And unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight, my publicist, Amy Van Eyden. And there were a couple people who were there at the very, very, very beginning who opened doors for me. Annette Wolf, Iris Dugal, and Mark Schwartz. And my very first agency was Writers and Artists in New York. So when I moved to LA, I was repped by them with the late Judy Shane. I had been cast in a sitcom called Teachers Only, starring the fabulous Lynn Redgrave. The very first night we were going to shoot, our very first episode, I heard someone ask, well, who's doing the warm-up? Well, coming from the theater, I assumed we were going to gather into a vocal warm-up or, stretch or something. And they said, no. It's a stand-up comic. He goes out into the house and he tells jokes and warms up the audience. I thought, so, what? Because we're not going to be funny? Well, and then someone said, no, it's okay. And now, everybody, line up for intros. I said, what's that? They said, well, they'll introduce the cast one at a time, and you'll just run out and wave or bow or whatever. And I said, you mean before the show? Like a basketball team? And I called Judy Shane the next morning, my agent, and I told her how crazy it had felt. And she said, oh, you poor baby, you really don't know your ass from apple butter, do you? It's true, but years have gone by, and I think I'm kind of comfortable with the apple butter finally. But fame is a strange thing to get used to. When my oldest was little, I would politely decline signing autographs if he was with me, explaining, no, I'm sorry, I hope you don't mind, but today I'm just mom. I know I wanted to protect that as much as humanly possible. But one day he turned to me and he said, it's okay, Mommy, you should sign. It just means they like you. So his very sweet and practical assessment of the situation helped me become a little more comfortable with the notion. However, recently, this year, I was shooting in Las Vegas, and I happened to be sharing the elevator with another hotel guest, and I noticed he kept glancing at me out of the corner of his eye, and finally he asked, are you famous? How do you answer that question? So I just said, well, apparently not. He's like, I said, what else to say? Anyway, but you know, one of my favorite things about this business, one of my favorite things is what a small world it is. Really, and the longer you stick around, the smaller it gets. I mean, for instance, I look out here tonight and I see Chris McDonald. Chris, where are you? I love you, honey. Chris and I have worked together 3 times. And I see Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen. I had the privilege of working with Ted on the 2nd season of Fargo. It was an amazing experience, and he was mind-blowingly good. And years ago, Mary and I played sisters in a stage production of Marvin's Room, during which she was dating the aforementioned Mr. Danson. And she was so amazing, so funny, and so moving, and we just had a blast. Anyway, to conclude, as crazy and chaotic as this industry is, I cannot imagine doing anything. No, that's not true. That's not true. I wanted to be a nurse for a while, and then I wanted to be then maybe a veterinarian, and for a while a social worker, but I digress. Anyway, this is an amazing and truly unexpected honor, and to be included among my fellow inductees tonight is a gift of a lifetime. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, if my sons don't meet you tonight, they will never speak to me again, and I'm quite serious. I just wish my mom and dad were here. Thank you all so much.